Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel Creative Grandma. I hope everyone's having a happy crochet or knitting day. Well, I finally got my grandma's comfort shawl made and I just thought it turned out really pretty. This is what it looks like. This is when you have it on and you're looking frontwards. This is what the back looks like. Isn't that pretty how that self-striping yarn just created that beautiful look with those blues? So now I'm going to hold it out. So it's really wide. It's 70 inches across the top and it's 55 inches across the sides, and then it's 34 inches from the bottom back up to the top. I just thought it was a beautiful pattern, and then I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see that border, just a nice little shell border. So that is the grandma's comfort shawl. So for the project today, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to make this shawl, and it's a combination of single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and a couple triple crochet. So I have it classified as an intermediate skill level. So if you know your basic stitches, you'll have no problem at all making this crocheted shawl. Now I'll be walking you step by step through the process of making this shawl. So if you are a beginner and you know your stitches, you can make this shawl. Just take your time and you're going to love this pattern. So for this crochet tutorial, you're going to need 4 cakes of a 3 lightweight yarn. Now I use Premier's anti-pilling DK colors because when you use an anti-pilling yarn, it prevents fuzz balls and pilling on your project. So I know that I can throw this in the washer and dryer and it's going to look brand new time after time, and it's just going to hold up because I chose an anti-pilling yarn. So sometimes it's better to use those anti-pilling yarns. So let me tell you the information on the cake of yarn, and then I'll hold it up close so you can see the beautiful colors. It comes in a 383 yard cake, 350 meters, 5 ounces, and 140 grams. So I used about 3.5 cakes. So you want to use the yardage if you're picking a different yarn. So this is 383 yards and you're going to need 4 cakes. So that will tell you the yardage. And again, I only used half of the 4th cake. It's a number 3 lightweight yarn. It's machine wash warm and tumble dry. And when you're going to make a garment that you're going to wear a lot, it's wonderful that you can wash and dry it. Now this is color number 1071-02 Splash. So let me get that up there. Look at those beautiful colors, and you can see how they worked up in this shawl. And again, that is the Premier anti-pilling DK colors. And they have wonderful color selections in this line of yarn. And I'll put a special link in the description box underneath the video. You can click that link. You can view all the different colorways, because maybe the blues is not what you like. Maybe you would like maybe pinks or one of the other colors. So check out those other colors. Now, I'll also have a referral link in the description box. If you use the referral link, you can save 10% off your very first order. So you click the link and then a pop-up will show up and you can click that pop-up and get your 10% off code. So great way to save a little bit of money on your first order. And again, it only takes 4 cakes to make this shawl. So let's go ahead and jump right in and let's get our shawl started. To begin our project, I already have my yarn attached to my hook and I just used a double knot. I'm also using a size H8 or 5mm crochet hook. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 5. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the loop on your hook. This creates your first chain. The loop on your hook does not count as a chain. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to join our chain together to form a ring. So we're going to skip the first 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the 5th chain from hook. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now we have our starting circle to start our work. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The beginning chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus a chain 1. We're going to work 3 double crochet right into the center of our ring, yarn over, insert into the center of the ring, yarn over, and pull back through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. That's how you make a double crochet. Work 2 more double crochet right into the center of that ring. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work 3 more double crochet back into that same center ring. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1 and then work 1 more double crochet back into the center of your ring. And row 1 is finished. So when you look at your work, you have your beginning chain 4, you have 3 double crochet, a chain 3, 3 double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet all in the center of that ring. So now we're ready to begin row 2. For row 2, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, the beginning chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus a chain 1. You're going to turn your work. We're going to work 3 double crochet into this first chain 1 space right here. Yarn over the hook, insert into the chain 1 space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 double crochet, and into the center point, your chain 3 space, we're going to work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 3 for our center point. And then we're going to work 3 more double crochet back into that same chain 3 center point. 1, 2, and 3. And when you look at your work, you're going to have 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and 3 double crochet in that chain 3 point. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 double crochet, and you're going to work 3 double crochet right between the skip 3 stitches and your ending turning chain. Yarn over, insert into that space between the skip stitches and your ending turning chain, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1, and then just look at your work. You may have to pull your stitches back. You want to double crochet into the 3rd chain of this turning chain 4. So count up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, insert into that 3rd chain, and work your double crochet. Row 2 is finished. This is what your work should look like. And now we're ready to begin row 3. To begin row 3, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. you're going to turn your work. Again, that beginning chain 4 counts as your first double crochet plus a chain 1. We're going to work 3 double crochet into that very first chain 1 space. Yarn over, insert into that chain 1 space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 double crochet. We're going to work 1 double crochet into this next chain 1 space, yarn over, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 1 double crochet. Now we're going to work 1 triple stitch 2 rounds below into the center double crochet of that 3 double crochet group. You're going to yarn over the hook twice, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert under the top 2 loops of that center stitch, and then you're working over top and around that chain 1 space. You're going to yarn over, pull back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Yarn over, insert into that chain 1 space, work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over, skip the next 3 stitches into that chain 3 center point, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3, yarn over, insert back into that same chain 3 space, and work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And when you look at your work, you're going to see that your center points are stacked, so you're always going to work the 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet into that center point with each row. You're going to chain 1, you're going to skip the next 3 double crochet and work 1 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Now we're going to work a triple crochet 2 rounds below in that center double crochet stitch of that 3 double crochet group. Yarn over the hook twice, bring your hook to the front of the work, insert under the top 2 loops of that center double crochet, yarn over, bring back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now you're going to work a double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Yarn over, insert under the chain 1 space, work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 double crochet and into this space between the skip 3 stitches and your turning chain, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1. Then you're going to look at your turning chain 4, and again your stitches are hiding that 4th chain. You just want to count from the bottom up, 1, 2, 3, and work your double crochet into that 3rd chain. Row 3 is finished. This is what your work should look like. And you can see how the pattern is starting to form, where when you work a regular granny square shawl, the holes stay open. This pattern closes up those holes and make it a little more solid pattern for more comfort to keep you warm. So now we're ready to begin row 4. Now row 4 will be our repeat row, and you'll be repeating that until you have a total of 41 rows made. So let's go ahead and begin row 4. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 4. You're going to turn your work. The beginning chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus a chain 1. We're going to work 3 double crochet into that first chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. Now we're ready to start our repeat. Our repeat, we're going to double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then we're going to work a triple crochet into the center stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. So yarn over twice, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert right into the top of that center stitch, yarn over, pull back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Then you're going to work a double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. And that is the end of the repeat. We're going to do the repeat all the way across our work until we get to our top center point. Let's do the repeat again. You're going to double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then triple crochet into the center stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Yarn over twice, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert under the top 2 loops of that stitch, yarn over, bring it back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Then you're going to double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. And again, we do the repeat until we get across to our top center point. So when you get to your top center point, we're going to work our 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and 3 double crochet all into that same chain 3 space at the top center point. Yarn over, insert into that next chain 3 space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3. Work 3 more double crochet back into that same chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Your top center point is made. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and now we're going to start our repeat working down the opposite side of our shawl. So let's go ahead and start the repeat. You're going to double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then we're going to triple crochet into the center stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Yarn over twice, bring your hook to your front of your work, insert under the top 2 loops, yarn over, bring your hook back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Then you're going to double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Chain 1 and skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it again. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then we're going to triple crochet into the center stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Yarn over twice, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert under the top 2 loops, yarn over, bring it back through that stitch. You have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then you're going to double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. Now as your shawl gets larger, you're just going to do that repeat down until you get to the space between the last 3 skip stitches and your turning chain. So to end the row, you're going to work 3 double crochet into that space between the last 3 skip stitches and your turning chain. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1 and then just pull those stitches back, and then we're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain of that turning chain 4. Yarn over, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that 3rd chain and work your double crochet. So row 4 is finished. This is what your work is going to look like, and we're just going to repeat row 4 over and over until we have a total of 41 complete rows made. So I'm going to go ahead and work row 4 with you one more time. Now I showed you in detail how to work the triple crochet, so I'm not going to go into detail for this next row. I'm just going to work my stitch. So let's go ahead and repeat row 4 one more time. You're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to turn your work. You're going to work 3 double crochet into that first chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 3 double crochet, and then you're going to start your repeat in this next chain 1 space. You're going to work 1 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, triple crochet into the 2nd stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So again, we're just going to work that repeat right up until we get to our top center point. So let's do the repeat again. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Now we're going to work a triple crochet into the 2nd stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Insert under the top 2 loops, work your triple crochet. Double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. Let's do the repeat again. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space, triple crochet into the 2nd stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Insert under the top 2 loops and work your triple crochet. Double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and you're going to repeat that until you come to your top center point. Now we're going to work 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and 3 double crochet into that top center chain 3 point. Yarn over, insert into that next chain 3 space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3. Then you're going to work 3 more double crochet back into that same chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. So now we're going to start our repeat. We're going to work a double crochet into the next chain 1 space, triple crochet into the second stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Insert under the top 2 loops of that stitch, work your triple crochet. Double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So let's do the repeat again. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space, triple crochet into the second stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Insert under the top 2 loops, work your triple crochet, or treble. I always say triple, however you pronounce it. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then skip the next 3 double crochet. So let's do the repeat again. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space, triple crochet into the second stitch of the 3 stitch group 2 rows below. Insert under the top 2 loops of that center stitch, work your triple crochet. Double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. Now as your shawl gets larger, you're just going to do that repeat until you get down to the space between the last 3 skip stitches and your turning chain. So to end the row, again, you're going to work 3 double crochet into the space between the skip stitches and that turning chain. Work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1, pull your stitches back, and then you're going to count up to the 3rd chain. So yarn over, count up 1, 2, and 3, insert into that 3rd chain, work a double crochet. So row 5 is finished, and again row 5 was the same as row 4, so row 4 and 5 is the same. So if you need additional help to keep working on your shawl, then you can click back and follow row 5 until you have a total of 41 rows completed. Now I did color control this shawl, so when you run out of yarn, when you join your next skein or cake of yarn, then make sure that you're following the same sequence of colors as your first skein. And then as you add additional skeins to your work, just make sure you're color controlling and matching those color sequences. So again, go ahead and repeat row 5 until you have a total of 41 rows, and I'll meet you at the end of row 41. So I'm over at the end of row 41. I worked a total of 41 complete rows. So the shawl is too large to get in the whole viewfinder, so you can see here is how it looks, and then we go to the center of the shawl. And then this is the top point or the bottom point when you have it on. But when we work it, we're going up the side to the top point and back down. So I call it the top point. And then this is the other side of your shawl. So now we're going to continue and we're going to add our border onto the shawl. So you want to go back to the end of row 41 and we're going to go ahead and get started on row 42. So the main portion of our shawl is finished and now we're going to add a border. So we're just going to keep working in rows. So let me zoom up and we'll begin row 42. Now we're ready to begin row 42, so we're going to begin with the chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to turn your work. The beginning chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus the chain 1. We're going to work 3 double crochet into that next chain 1 space, yarn over, insert into the chain 1 space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. So for this round, you might want to grab a piece of paper and pencil and keep track of what we're doing. We're going to begin and we're going to work 4 double crochet in each of the next 14 chain 1 spaces. So let's begin. You're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain 1 space, and work 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is one set of 14. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 2 sets of 14. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is your third set of 4 double crochet of 14. So go ahead and continue and work 4 double crochet in each of the next 11 chain 1 spaces, and then you should have a total of 14 sets of 4 double crochet. So again, continue and work 4 double crochet in each of the next 11 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you after I do my stitches. I just got my stitches done. We just worked 4 double crochet in each of the next 11 chain 1 spaces. So when you look at your work, I'm just going to pull my hook out of here. So when you look at your work, you're going to have your beginning chain 4 and your 3 double crochet. So remember not to count that when you're counting your sets of 4 double crochet. You should have a total of 14 sets after this beginning set of 3. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sets of 4 double crochet. So now we're ready to begin the next section, and we're changing to a half double crochet. We're going to work 4 half double crochet in each of the next 10 chain 1 spaces. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, insert into that next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's how you make a half double crochet. Work 3 more half double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. And when you look at your work, you should have 4 half double crochet into that chain 1 space. So that is 1 of 10. Let's do it again. skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 half double crochet into that next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 2 sets of 10. Let's do it again. Skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 half double crochet into the next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is 3 sets of 10. So go ahead and continue and work 4 half double crochet in each of the next 7 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches done. I just worked my last set of 4 half double crochet, and we worked 4 half double crochet into the next 7 chain 1 spaces. So when you look at your work, this is where we ended the double crochet. You can see those higher stitches, and this is where we transformed over to the half double crochet stitches. So you should have 4 half double crochet in the next 10 chain 1 spaces. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we're ready to begin the next section. The next section we're going to be working 4 single crochet into the next 16 chain 1 spaces. So let's begin. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over, pull back through that space. You have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's how you do a single crochet. Work 3 more single crochet into that same chain 1 space. And again, you should have 4 single crochet all in that same chain 1 space. So that is 1 of 16 sets. Skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That is 2 sets of 16. Let's do it one more time together. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches and work 4 single crochet into that next chain 1 space. So that is the 3rd set of 16 sets needed. So go ahead and continue and work 4 single crochet in each of the next 13 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches finished. I just finished working 4 single crochet in each of the next 13 chain 1 spaces. So when you look at your work, when you go back, you can see where your half double crochet stitch transitioned over to the single crochet. So you should have a total of 16 sets of 4 single crochet across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And now we're over at our top center point. So we're going to skip the next 3 stitches and we're going to work 3 single crochet into this next chain 3 space. Insert your hook and work 3 single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3 to make your top point, and then just pull these stitches over and work 3 more single crochet back into that top point chain 3 space. 2 and 3. So again, when you look at your shell stitch running down through the center of your shawl at the top point, you should have 3 single crochet, a chain 3, and 3 single crochet. So now we're going to go ahead and work down the opposite side of our shawl, and we're going to begin and we're going to work 4 single crochet in each of the next 16 chain 1 spaces. So let's begin. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip the next 3 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, and work 4 single crochet. That is the second set of 4 single crochet out of 16. So go ahead and continue and work 4 single crochet in each of the next 14 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches finished. So I just finished my last set of 4 single crochet. So in total, you should have worked 4 single crochet in a total of 16 chain 1 spaces. So this is our top center point, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 sets of 4 single crochet made. So now we're ready to start our next section. For our next section, we're going to start working the half double crochet stitch. We're going to work 4 half double crochet in each of the next 10 chain 1 spaces. So let's begin. You're going to yarn over, skip the next 3 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 1 set of 10. Let's do it again. Yarn over, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 4 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is 2 sets of 10. So go ahead and continue and work 4 half double crochet in each of the next 8 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches finished. I just worked my last set of 4 half double crochet, and in total you should have 10 sets of half double crochet. So go back to where you did your last set of single crochet, and then you can see your stitches are a little higher. You should have 10 sets of 4 half double crochet across the next 10 chain 1 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're ready to begin our next section, and we're going to be working 4 double crochet into the next 14 chain 1 spaces. So let's begin. Yarn over, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 1 set of 14. Let's do it again. Yarn over, insert into the next chain 1 space, work 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is the second set of 14. So go ahead and continue and work 4 double crochet in each of the next 12 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches finished. I just worked my last set of 4 double crochet, so you should have a total of 14 sets of 4 double crochet. So go back to where you see where your half double crochet transitioned over to your double crochet, and you can just do a double stitch count. Again, you should have a total of 14 sets of 4 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now we are left with our ending 3 double crochet and our turning chain. To end the row, we're going to skip the next 3 double crochet and work 3 double crochet into the space between the skip stitches and your turning chain. Yarn over, insert into that space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 1, move those stitches over, and you're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain. Yarn over, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that 3rd chain, and work a double crochet. So row 42 is finished, and again, it's really hard to get the entire project in the viewfinder. So row 42 is finished. So let's go ahead and start row 43. To begin row 43, we're going to begin with the chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to turn your work. We're going to work 3 double crochet into that first chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 59 stitches. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch. So for this row, I highly recommend using stitch markers. So this is the 2nd double crochet of the 59. This is the 1st double crochet of the 59. So I'm just coming back here and I'm just going to put my stitch marker. I just use a piece of yarn. I'm just going to place that stitch marker into that stitch, and I'm just going to tie it loosely in 1 knot. I'm just going to go like that just so it doesn't come out. Now the reason I do this is because 59 stitches is a lot of stitches to remember, and you have to remember not to count these beginning 3 double crochet into this space. This next stitch here is where we start the 59 stitches. So again, we have 2 of the 59 stitches worked. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. Continue and work 1 double crochet across until you have a total of 59 double crochet stitches made, starting from your stitch marker here. So if you start here, we worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 59 stitches, so you need to double crochet in each of the next 54 stitches. When you get your stitches done, I'll meet you and we'll start the next section. I just finished my last double crochet, and you should have a total of 59 double crochet if you start from your very first stitch where you put your stitch marker in. So just do a real quick double stitch count, start where your stitch marker is, count across, and you should have a total of 59 double crochet stitches. So now we're ready to begin our next section. So we're going to be working a half double crochet in each of the next 40 stitches. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and I always go under the top 2 loops, work a half double crochet. That is 1 of 40. half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 2 of 40. Then come back to that first half double crochet made, come back 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then go ahead and insert your stitch marker, whether it's a piece of yarn or whether you're using a real stitch marker. So again, I highly recommend using the stitch markers because if your phone rings, maybe the mailman's knocking at your door, and when you're in the middle of a section, you might lose your stitch count. So it's very easy when you have the stitch markers, just go back to that first stitch and then you can just count how many stitches you made. So we made 2 of 40, so half double crochet into the next stitch. Half double crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch. So when you look at your work, we made 5 half double crochets so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and continue and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 35 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my stitches finished. I just finished my last half double crochet. You should have worked a total of 40 half double crochet across, working 1 half double crochet in each of the next 40 stitches. So if you go back to your stitch marker, just do a double stitch count. It only takes a couple seconds, and count from your stitch marker across, and you should have a total of 40 half double crochet stitches. To begin our next section, we're going to work a single crochet in each single crochet across to our next chain 3 center point. So insert into the next stitch under the top 2 loops, work a single crochet. Now you don't have to mark this because we're going to be working right across each remaining stitch across to our center point. So single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, always going under the top 2 loops, single crochet into the next stitch. So go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each stitch across the side of the shawl until you come to your center top point, that chain 3 space. So you're going to stop in this last single crochet here. So again, go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each stitch across until you come to your top center chain 3 space point. I'll meet you there. I just worked a single crochet into the last single crochet across to my top center point. So this is our top center point. Here's our chain 3 space. You should have worked a total of 67 single crochet across. So if you go back to the last half double crochet made, now I did not put a stitch marker in, but you can see how your stitches dip down to where you made that first single crochet stitch. So if you count from the first single crochet stitch, you should have a total of 67 single crochet, and you should be over to your chain 3 center point. To work our chain 3 point, we're going to work 1 single crochet into that next chain 3 space. You're going to chain 3, and then work 1 more single crochet back into that center chain 3 space at the center point. So now we're going to begin working down the other side of our shawl. So let's begin the next section. For the next section, we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 67 single crochet stitches. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That's 2. I'm just going to pull a loop up, pull my hook out, and I'm going to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2 to that first single crochet of the 67 we need to work. I'm just going to insert my stitch marker, And the reason I suggest to use stitch markers is because we're not starting in the first stitch to count, we're starting in that next stitch. This was our center chain 3 space where we worked our single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and then the next single crochet is the first stitch of the 67 single crochet we need to make. Single crochet into the next stitch, that's 3 of 67. Single crochet into the next stitch, that's 4 of 67. So when you look at your work, we already done 4 of the 67 stitches. So go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 63 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my single crochet finished. I just worked my last single crochet. We worked a total of 67 single crochet across. So again, I highly suggest making sure you go back to your stitch marker and just count from your stitch marker and make sure you have a total of 67 single crochet across. So now we're ready to begin the next section. In the next section, we're going to be working a half double crochet across each of the next 40 stitches. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and I always go under the top 2 loops, work a half double crochet. That's 1 of 40, half double crochet into the next stitch. That's 2 of 40, half double crochet into the next stitch. That's 3 of 40. Now I did forget to go back and put my stitch marker in, so I'm going to count back 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Insert my hook under the top 2 loops. And then I'm just going to pull my stitch marker through, and I'm just going to tie it loosely in 1 knot just so it doesn't come out. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 4 of 40. So if you look at your stitch marker, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 half double crochets have been worked. So go ahead and continue and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 36 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my half double crochets made. I just worked my last half double crochet of 40. So again, just do a double stitch count, go back to our stitch marker, start in that stitch where your stitch marker is, and just make sure you have a total of 40 half double crochet stitches. Now we're ready to begin the next section. So the next section, we're going to be working 1 double crochet in each of the next 59 stitches. So let's begin. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, work a double crochet. That's 1. Double crochet into the next stitch. That is 2 of 59. So I'm just going to pull my hook up, and I'm going to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2 to that first half double crochet. And then I'm just going to pull my stitch marker through that stitch. And again, I'm just going to tie 1 knot loosely, just so it doesn't come out. And then I'm going to continue, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. So when you look at your work, we have a total of 4 double crochet of the 59 needed. So now you're going to continue and work 1 double crochet in each of the next 55 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my double crochets made. I just worked my last double crochet, and you should have a total of 59 double crochet. So if you go back to your stitch marker, count from your stitch marker across, you should have a total of 59 double crochet stitches. To finish the row, we're going to work 3 double crochet into the space between the last stitch worked and the turning chain 4. Yarn over, insert into that space, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Pull those stitches over, and then you're going to chain 1. You're going to yarn over, go down to the bottom of the turning chain, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that third chain, and work your double crochet. So row 43 is finished, so this is the left hand side, and then we worked up to the center point. So this is our top center point, or the bottom point if you're wearing the shawl, and then we work back down the other side. And then again, take all your stitch markers out. And then I'm over to the other side, and I'm just going to take my stitch marker out. So again, this is the center of our shawl. Sorry, it's just too big to get in the viewfinder. And then we're going back over to where we ended row 43, and now we're ready to begin row 44. To begin row 44, we're going to start with the chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to turn your work. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. Now we're going to work double crochet 2 together across the next 2 stitches. You're going to yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops only. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. Now you have a total of 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You double crocheted 2 together, and we decreased by 1 stitch. So now we're going to start our next section. Our next section, we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 60 double crochet stitches. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, work a double crochet. That's 1 of 60. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 2 of 60. I'm just going to pull my hook up. I'm going to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2, to that very first double crochet of the 60 that we're working in this section. And you just want to put a stitch marker into that first stitch. And again, I just use a piece of yarn. I tie 1 knot loosely, and that way I can pull it right out. And then we're going to start working our double crochet stitches again. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 3 of 60. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 4 of 60. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 5 of 60. So when you look at your work, we already worked 5 double crochet of the 60. So go ahead and continue and work 1 double crochet in each of the next 55 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my double crochet stitches made. I just worked my last double crochet of 60. So again, do a double stitch count, go back to that stitch marker and just count across and make sure you have a total of 60 double crochet stitches. So now we're ready to start our next section, and now we're going to work in half double crochets. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 40 half double crochet stitches. So let's begin. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 1 of 40. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That's 2 of 40. Just going to pull my hook up. I'm going to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2, to that first half double crochet stitch I made, and then I'm just going to put a stitch marker into that first half double crochet. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 3 of 40. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 4 of 40. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 5 of 40. So again, when you look at your stitch marker, we worked 5 half double crochet stitches. So go ahead and continue and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 35 half double crochet stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my half double crochets made. I just worked my last half double crochet of 40 half double crochet stitches across. So again, go back to your stitch marker, start with that first stitch where your stitch marker is, count and make sure you have a total of 40 half double crochet stitches across. So now we're ready to begin our next section. Our next section, we're changing to a single crochet. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 68 single crochet across. So let's begin. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That is 1 of 68. Single crochet into the next stitch. That is 2 of 68. I'm just going to take my hook out. I'm coming back 2 stitches to that first single crochet made, and I'm just going to put a stitch marker in that first stitch. Now, I don't usually use stitch markers, but in this case, because we're working such long stitch counts across each section, and you may get confused when you transfer from a half double crochet to a single crochet or from a half double crochet to a double crochet. So you really want to make sure you have the correct stitch count. So that's why it's important to use stitch markers with this pattern. So again, we made 2 single crochet of the 68, single crochet into the next stitch. That is 3 of 68, single crochet into the next stitch. That's 4 of 68. Again, when you look at your stitch marker, we work 4 single crochet and we need 68. So go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 64 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my single crochet made. I just finished my last single crochet of a total of 68 single crochet across, and again, go back to that stitch marker, start at the stitch marker, count across, and make sure you have a total of 68 single crochet stitches. So now we're over at our top center chain 3 point. So to work the point, we're going to work a single crochet into that next chain 3 space. You're going to chain 3 and then single crochet back into that same chain 3 space. Your top corner point is made. So now we're getting ready to start our next section, working down the opposite side of our shawl, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 68 single crochet stitches. So let's begin. Insert into that next stitch, work a single crochet. That is 1 of 68. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That is 2 of 68. So I'm just going to pull my hook up. You want to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2 to that first single crochet of the 68 that we're making. Insert your stitch marker. And again, it's very important because we already worked 1 stitch in the top point of the chain 3 space, so you do not want to count that. Make sure your stitch marker is in that next stitch. Single crochet into the next stitch. That's 3. Single crochet into the next stitch. That's 4. Single crochet into the next stitch. That's 5. And when you look at your work, if you start at the stitch marker and you count, we have 5 single crochet made. You need a total of 68 stitches across. So go ahead and continue and work 1 single crochet in each of the next 63 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my single crochet finished. I just worked my last single crochet of the 68 single crochet we needed to make. So just make sure you go back to the beginning where your stitch marker is, count that first stitch where your stitch marker is, and make sure you have a total of 68 single crochet stitches across. So now we're ready to do the next section, and the next section we're going to be working in half double crochets. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 40 stitches. So let's begin. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a half double crochet. That is 1 of 40. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That is 2 of 40. I'm just going to take my hook out. I'm going to come back 2 stitches, 1, 2, to that very first half double crochet stitch we made, and I'm just going to put a stitch marker into that first stitch. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That's 3. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That's 4. Half double crochet into the next stitch. And that's 5. So when you go back to your stitch marker, you can see we worked 5 half double crochet. We need to have a total of 40 half double crochet. So go ahead and continue and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 35 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my half double crochet finished. I just worked my last half double crochet. We needed to make 40 half double crochet stitches. So again, go back to your stitch marker, count from that first stitch, and make sure you have a total of 40 half double crochets. So now we're ready to begin our next section, and we're working in double crochet stitches for the next section, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 60 stitches. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a double crochet. That's 1 of 60. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 2 of 60. I'm going to pull my hook up. I'm coming back 2 stitches, 1, 2, to that very first double crochet I worked, and I'm just going to insert my stitch marker. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 3. Double crochet into the next stitch. That's 4. Double crochet into the next stitch. And that's 5. So when you look at your work, here's our stitch marker. You can see we worked 5 double crochet of the 60. So now you can go ahead and continue and work 1 double crochet in each of the next 55 stitches, and I'll meet you when I get my double crochet made. I just finished my last double crochet of working 60 double crochet across. So again, go back to your stitch marker, count from that first stitch, and make sure you have a total of 60 double crochet across. When you look at your work, you're going to have 2 double crochet and your turning chain 4 space remaining. To end the row, we're going to double crochet 2 together across the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. Yarn over, insert into the top of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You double crocheted 2 together and you decrease by 1 stitch. Now we're going to double crochet into the space between the last stitch worked and the turning chain. Work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1 and then pull that stitch over. You're going to yarn over, come down to the bottom of the chain, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the 3rd chain, work a double crochet. So row 44 is finished. I'm just going to take my hook out. I'm going to pull up a loop so I can try to show you the shawl. So this is where we ended row 44, so you can see how we worked down the side, and I'm just going to remove all my stitch markers and then just go up, and then we're up to that point. So again, just take your stitch markers out of the round, and then you can see the other side of where we worked. And I'm just going to take my last stitch marker out, and then we're over to the other side. So here is the bottom of the shawl. Again, it's way too big to get the whole shawl in the viewfinder. And now I'm going back over to where I ended row 44. And now we're ready to begin row 45. To begin row 45, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And yes, this is different. We usually chain 4, but with this row, we're only chaining 3. You're going to turn your work. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. 1 and 2. Now we're going to skip the next 3 stitches. Now remember, this is a double crochet 2 together, so that's 1 stitch. So you may want to just look at the top of your stitches for this section here to skip those next 3 stitches. Now we're going to start our repeat into this 4th stitch. We skip 3, and now into this 4th stitch is starting the repeat. You're going to work 2 double crochet into that 4th stitch. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Now you're going to work 2 more double crochet back into that same stitch. 1 and 2. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So let's do the repeat again. You already skipped 3 stitches. Into that 4th stitch, work 2 double crochet. 1, 2, chain 2, and then work 2 more double crochet back into that same stitch. 1 and 2. And then you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So let me show you one more time. Again, you skip those 3 stitches, so into the 4th stitch, work 2 double crochet, 1, 2, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then back into that same stitch, work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Your shell stitch is made. You work 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet all into that same stitch. Then you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So now to continue working up this side of your shawl, you already skipped these 3 stitches. So into the 4th stitch, you're going to start your repeat, work 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet into that 4th stitch. Then you're going to skip the next 3 stitches. You're going to repeat that across until you get to your top center point chain 3 space, and I'll meet you there. I just worked my last repeat of a shell stitch, and I skipped the next 3 stitches, so you should be over at your top center point in the chain 3 space. So now we're going to work into that chain 3 point. We're going to change our stitches and work a half double crochet into the chain 3 space. Yarn over, insert into the chain 3 space at the top center point, work a half double crochet. Half double crochet back into that same space. You're going to chain 3 and then work 2 more half double crochet into that same chain 3 space. 1 and 2. So when you look at your work, your top center point is made. Now we're ready to begin working down the opposite side of our shawl. We're at the center point, so we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and into this 4th stitch we're going to start our repeat. You're going to yarn over, insert into that 4th stitch, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Yarn over, insert back into that same stitch, and work 2 more double crochet. 1 and 2. Your shell stitch is made. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So let's do the repeat again. You're going to yarn over. You already skipped those 3 stitches, so into the 4th stitch, insert your hook and work your shell stitch of 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2 and then work 2 more double crochet back into that same stitch, 1 and 2. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches. Then you're going to start your repeat into that 4th stitch. Yarn over, you already skipped 3 stitches, insert into the 4th stitch and work your 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2 and then work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and then you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. So if you need help, just click back on the video. You already skipped these 3 stitches, so into this 4th stitch, work 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet into that 4th stitch, and then skip 3 stitches. Into the next stitch, work your shell stitch of 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, skip 3 stitches. So go ahead and continue. Again, if you need additional help, just click back on the video, repeat that across until you get to your last 3 double crochet and your turning chain, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of the row. I just worked my last repeat, and remember, when you're counting your stitches, it's going to look like 4, but the 2 in the center was a double crochet 2 together, so that is 1 stitch. So you should have 1, 2, 3 stitches remaining and your turning chain. So to end the row, we're going to work 2 double crochet into that space between the skip 3 stitches and your ending turning chain. Work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Work 1 double crochet back into that same space. Now we're just going to move our stitches over. You're going to yarn over. You're going to start at the bottom of the chain, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that 3rd chain of the turning chain, and work a double crochet. Row 45 is finished. I'm going to take my hook out and I'm just going to show you briefly the edge of our shawl. This is what your work should look like, and then we work up to our top center point. And again, it's too large to get the whole shawl in the viewfinder, and then this is the other side. Now we're ready to begin row 46. To begin row 46, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to turn your work. We're going to work 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of each double crochet shell stitch across to our top center point. Yarn over, insert into that next chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2, back into that same chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Now we're going to begin our repeat, and we're only working in the chain 2 spaces. So let's begin the repeat. You're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain 2 space of the next shell stitch, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, insert back into that same chain 2 space, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And when you look at your work, we're going to have a shell stitch right on top of the shell stitch below. Let's do the repeat again. You're going to yarn over, find your next chain 2 space in the center of the next shell stitch. Insert your hook and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Yarn over, insert back into that same space, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue and work 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each shell stitch across to your top center point, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at our top center point. I worked 1 shell stitch of 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of each shell stitch across until we get to our top center point. So now we're going to do our top center point, and we're changing over to half double crochet. You're going to work 3 half double crochet into the top center chain 3 space. Work 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3. Now you're going to work 3 more half double crochet into that top center chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're getting ready to work down the opposite side of our shawl, and we're just going to work a shell stitch of 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each shell stitch across to the other end. So let's begin. You're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain 2 space of the next double crochet shell stitch right into the center of the chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. And your shell stitch is finished. And you can see that we're just stacking those shell stitches. So let's go ahead and do the repeat again. Yarn over, insert into the next chain 2 space of the next double crochet shell stitch, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Yarn over, insert back into that same chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Your shell stitch is finished, and that is the end of the repeat. Again, you're going to have a shell stitch on top of the shell stitch below. Let's do it one more time together. You're going to yarn over, go into your next chain 2 space of the next shell stitch, insert into the chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Yarn over, insert back into that same space, work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue and work 2 double crochet, a chain 2 and 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each remaining shell stitch across, and I'll meet you at the other end. I'm over at the end of row 46. We worked 1 shell stitch in each shell stitch down to the end. And now to end the row, we're going to work 1 double crochet into the top of the turning chain 3. Yarn over, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that top chain, and work a double crochet. So row 46 is finished. This is what the edging looks like so far. So now we're getting ready to finish our shawl. We have 1 row to go, but we're going to change from working in rows to working in the round. We're going to work around all 3 sides of our shawl to finish this shawl up. To begin round 47, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to turn your work. We're going to work 2 double crochet into the first chain 2 space of the first shell. Yarn over, insert into that chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're going to grab that chain 7, pull it back, bring your hook back down to the front of your work, and you're going to insert from top to bottom through the top front loop and right into the loop on the side of the stitch right below. You have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You're making a picot stitch, but you're making it with a chain 7 instead of a chain 3. Now we're going to work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. So when you look at your work, you're going to have 2 double crochet, your chain 7, and you slip stitched into the top of the last stitch made, and then 2 double crochet. And we're going to repeat that in each double crochet shell stitch across to your top center point. So let's do the repeat again. You're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain 2 space of the next shell stitch, work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Use your fingers, grab that chain 7, pull it back, and then take your hook from top to bottom down through the top front loop of the last double crochet made, and then right into the loop below on the side of the stitch. You have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You just created your chain 7 loop. Yarn over, insert back into that same space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And again, when you look at your work, you're going to have 2 double crochet, a chain 7, and you slip stitched into the last stitch worked, and then 2 double crochet. And you can see how your pattern is forming. So let's do it one more time together. Yarn over, insert into the next chain 2 space of the next shell stitch, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Grab that chain 7, pull it back, insert your hook from top to bottom through the top front loop of the last stitch made, and then out through the side of that stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now we're going to work 2 more double crochet into that same space. And if you hear that noise, it just started to rain, and I'm on the 3rd floor and you can really hear it. Yarn over, insert into that same chain 2 space, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And again, when you look at your work, you're going to have 2 double crochet, a chain 7, you slip stitched into the top of the last stitch made, and then work 2 more double crochet. So go ahead and repeat your 2 double crochet, chain 7, slip stitch 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of each shell stitch across to your half double crochet shell stitch at your top center point. If you need additional help, just click back on the video. I'll meet you at the top center point. I'm over at my center shell stitch at the center chain 3 point. So we worked our 2 double crochet, our chain 7 picot stitch, and 2 double crochet in the center of each shell stitch. And when you get to the center point, here's our center point, then we're going to work the center differently. To work the center point, we're going to work 2 double crochet and a chain 7 picot stitch 3 times. We're just working the first half. So let's begin. Yarn over, insert into the chain 3 point, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Bring your hook back around to the front of your work, insert into the top front loop of that last stitch made, and then right out through the side in the loop below. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Your picot stitch is made. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert back into the center point, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7, pull your loop back, bring your hook around to the front of your work, insert into the top front loop and into the loop directly below on the side. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is 2 of 3. We need to do that 1 more time. Yarn over, insert back into the center point, work 2 more double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7. Pull that chain 7 loop back, bring your hook around, insert into the top front loop and into the loop directly below on the side. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And this is what your center top point will look like. You're going to have 2 double crochet, your chain 7 loop, 2 double crochet, your chain 7 loop, 2 double crochet, and your chain 7 loop. So now we're going to begin working down the other side of our shawl, and we're just going to repeat what we've done on this side. We're going to work 2 double crochet, our chain 7 loop, and 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each shell stitch down the other side. So let's begin. Yarn over, find your next shell stitch, insert into the chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Pull your chain 7 back, insert into the top front loop and the loop directly below of the last stitch worked, and yarn over and pull through all loops on your hook. Your chain 7 loop was made, and now we're going to work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. So let's do it again together. Find your next shell stitch, yarn over, insert into the chain 2 space, and work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 7. Just take your fingers, pull that chain 7 back, and you want to come down with your hook from top to bottom through the top front loop and then into the loop directly below. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Your chain 7 loop picot stitch is made. Yarn over, insert back into that same chain 2 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2, and that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue and work 2 double crochet, a chain 7 picot stitch, 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each remaining shell stitch across, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm over at my last shell stitch. We just worked 2 double crochet, a chain 7 picot stitch, and 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of each shell stitch across to the last shell. So now we're going to make the transition, and we're going to go around the corner, and we're going to put a nice double crochet edging across the top of our shawl. So let's go ahead and begin working around the corner. We're going to work a double crochet into the top of this turning chain. Yarn over, you're skipping the next 2 double crochet and go into that very top chain of the turning chain, work a double crochet. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this beginning chain 4 is counting as a triple crochet. So now we're going to start working across the top edge, and we're going to be working into the row end stitches. So you're going to see right here's a row end stitch, here's a row end stitch. One is more open than the other, but you're just going to be working around the post of each row end stitch. So let's begin working across the top of our shawl. Again, the chain 4 counts as a triple crochet, and now we're going to work 3 triple crochet around the post of this last double crochet we made. You're going to yarn over twice, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert underneath the post of that stitch, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your triple crochet. We need to make 2 more triple back into that same space, going underneath and around the post of that stitch. So that's 1, and 2. So when you look at your work, the triple, the chain 4, helps bring your work across, and then our stitches are starting to go down the other way on the other side of our shawl. So now you just want to spin your shawl around, and we're going to be working into the row end stitches. Here's a row end stitch. This one's a little bit tighter. You're just going to be going underneath that stitch and around the post of the stitch, and then underneath and around the post of this next row end stitch, underneath the post of this, and so on across the top. So now we're going to switch and we're going to do a double crochet. You're going to work 3 double crochet underneath and around this next row end stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So again, we went from working our triple crochet down to working double crochets. So now all we're going to do is work 3 double crochet around the post of each row end stitch across to within the last row end stitch, and we're going to be doing that one differently. So let's go ahead and start the repeat. Yarn over, insert underneath and around the post of the next row end stitch, and work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3, and that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it again. Yarn over, insert underneath and around the post of that next row end stitch, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3, and that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue and work 3 double crochet in each row end stitch down to within the last row end stitch. Stop there and I'll meet you at the last row end stitch. I'm over at the end where our last row end stitch is. We work 3 double crochet in each row end stitch across to within that last row. So now to finish our shawl, we're going to work 3 triple crochet into this last row end stitch. Yarn over twice, insert underneath and around that ending row end stitch, work 3 triple crochet. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet of the round. Insert into the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook, and that is how you join your last and final round. So now all we have to do is fasten off our work. I like to leave a little bit longer length just so I have more yarn to weave in with my yarn needle. I chain 2, 1, 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So I'm going to go ahead and weave in all my ends, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the finished shawl. Our shawl is finished. I weaved in all my ends, and this is what your shawl is going to look like. Beautiful colors of blue and cream if you use the same color splash that I did. Isn't it beautiful? It's just a wonderful shawl that you can make for yourself. You can give it as a gift, maybe to co-workers. It's just the perfect size to drape over your shoulders and come around the front. And the self-striping yarn just creates that beautiful look on the back. So I just want to thank everybody for stopping by today and crocheting with me. I hope you enjoyed this crocheted shawl. If you enjoyed today's crochet tutorial, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here on Creative Grandma's channel. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you that stopped by today. I appreciate all my viewers and subscribers, and I just have so much fun doing these crochet tutorials. So until next time, stay inspired. Happy crocheting, everyone. Bye.